Hey guys, my name is Steve. I'm from Blackstar Amps and I'm hanging out here at Project Music in Exeter. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity while I had them with me to really talk about the beauty and how great the St. James range of amplifiers really are. All the tech behind them and how good they sound. So I've got with me a 50 watt head in EL34 and a 6L6 50 watt head as well. The initial range of St. James came out as 50 watts. As standard. So there was a 1x12 combo, a 2x12 combo came later on, and of course there's the heads that you can see with me now. We've just launched in the end of 2024 a brand new St. James 100 as well, so look out for that. These amplifiers can be run in a number of ways, but I'll break it down really simply for you. They're 2-channel amplifiers with a shared EQ. The EQ is actually a dual pot EQ, so it actually changes on the channel you're on to really give that channel the best possible EQ that we could give. I'm going to give you a demonstration of all the channels on these amplifiers and show you how different they are. The EL34, which is the top one, this is in the Fawn Tolex, which is the light cream looking product. That is more of a vintage British tone amplifier. The Clean channel is actually based off a reference black panel Fender Twin. We always use reference amps at Blackstar when we're designing. We don't copy and we don't try to imitate, but we try to get a sound reference as good as. So the Clean channel is perfect for a pedal platform. The second channel on here is based around an AC30 top boost combo, which is something we have at the office, which we constantly reference for that beautiful British chime. Now, the reverb built in here is also different per channel. It's not too dissimilar that you would choose one channel over the other, but certainly on the Clean channel, the decay, the length of the reverb is longer than the overdrive channel, which is a little shorter. On the 6L6 version, we have exactly the same Clean channel, again based on a reference tone of a black panel Fender Twin. The second channel is based on Blackstar's classic cascading high gain distortion. So there's 2 voices. The first voice is a really nice rich British classic rock sound. The second voice is a very aggressive, harsher in the high end, more modern metal sound. And we'll hear those in a little bit. You can run the St. James 50s in 3 different power modes. You can run them at 2 watts, 50 watts, and also there's a sag position which is located on this switch here, which we'll talk about a little later. Not only do these amplifiers sound great, they are also packed with lots of modern features. Inside these amplifiers we have a full reactive load, which is basically Blackstar's IR type technology DSP speaker simulator. So when you plug these direct into your door, a PA, a DI box going direct to front of house, you can actually manipulate the sound and you can design it yourself using Cabrig via a Mac or a PC. And you can change the cabinet style, you can change the mic position, the room ambience. So if you're on in-ear monitors, you can really get that roomy sound. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But you can actually save 3 Cabrig presets, so basically 3 impulse responses to these amplifiers. So when you get to the show, plug an XLR in or a jack, go direct, and you've got 3 tones that are going straight out to the audience that you've designed. On top of all that, these amplifiers are the lightest valve amplifiers in the world. That was one of the main focuses for us because traditionally valve amplifiers are very heavy, right? So we wanted to make these super lightweight, and seeing is believing. So make sure you get to the store and try these out. So firstly, we're going to look at some tones on the EL34, and I'm going to run through the Clean and then the overdrive channel to see what you think. Alright, so first up, this is the Clean channel of the EL34, and like I said earlier, it's based on a black panel 65 Twin. The EQ circuit is exactly the same. If you've ever tried an old Twin, you'll know that when you turn the bass, the middle and the treble all the way down, you will lose volume of where that EQ is in the circuit. This is exactly the same. It's a great pedal platform, tons of headroom. Here we go. So I'm turning the bass down the middle down and the treble down, and of course there's no sound. But to prove the fact that it's a different EQ for each channel, I'm just going to switch channel 2 on and you will notice the sound kick back in. That's just to show you that the EQ is different per channel, which in itself is very unique. While we're on the subject of both channels sounding very different, let me just introduce a lot of reverb, and I will show you the reverb tail or decay on both channels, just to show you that's different too. Here's the tail on the clean, running the reverb about 50%. Channel 2, much shorter, so it's giving that particular style of tone and that channel the right amount of reverb. So even when I push the preamp volume to 3/4 of the way up, it still remains really clean. Perfect for a pedal platform, overdrives, distortions, things like that. So we've now jumped across to the overdrive channel, the second channel, and this particular EL34 head is not high gain by any means. It's more of a classic sound. Like I said earlier, it's based around that British 60s chime. So with the gain pushed to around about 3/4 of the way up, this is a nice big chord just to show you the amount of gain that's actually happening. So a really nice classic sound. Now, the EQ on this particular channel works the same as an old AC30 top boost. If you're familiar with those amps, you'll know there's no mid control. It's just a mid cut and a mid boost switch. So if we put the mid at noon, it effectively leaves the circuit, leaving the bass and the treble really wide open. If I push the treble, you will notice it becomes very, very harsh. Similar to that of an AC30, if you push that top end, it's going to become very, very harsh on the ears. Let's try it. Kind of unusable, but some people might dig that sound. If I roll the treble back, it's almost like I'm increasing the bass. What you can do is on the mid control, if you turn it all the way to 0, it's effectively giving you the mid cut. If you turn it all the way to 10, it's giving you the mid boost, which is the classic sound that people love of an AC30. Let's check that out. There's our mid cut. This is our mid boost. Now, with the gain pushed all the way, we also have a 10 dB preamp boost, kind of acting like a tube screamer in the front end of an amp. Let's put that on and it will give us a little bit more gain. We'll just lower the reverb a touch. Giving you that classic AC30 cranked tone in a lightweight amplifier. Really, really cool. So all in all, a very vintage sounding amp with the EL34. The EL34 power amp tubes are generally more associated with British amps as well, so it kind of makes sense. The clean channel on the 6L6 has got a little bit more chime to it, which generally the 6L6 would be used on Fender, Boogie, Peavey, that kind of thing. So it is really inherent of that American sound. So it's very similar, but it has a little bit more chime. Again, a great pedal platform. Let's check out that first channel. Okay, moving on to the overdrive channel. If I put the gain around about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you are starting off where the EL34 left us, all right? So it's that backed off gain tone, which is great for blues, some classic rock. So let's start off there, and then I'll increase more gain as we go around, and then we'll look at that second voicing as well, which isn't a boost this time, it's a different voicing to the overdrive channel. Right, similar to that of the EL34. Let's put the bridge pickup on, increase the gain, get some more rock. So a really nice classic rock tone that's tipping the edge of that metal vibe, right? If you dig in with a hard pick, for example, if you're down tuned. But those modern amplifiers that people love the sound of have a lot more fizz in the top end, and that's what the second voicing does for you. So even with the gain around about 2 o'clock, let's put that second voice in, and hopefully you'll really hear that kick in. As you can hear there, it's quite an aggressive sound on that second channel. We're in standard pitch at the moment, so if you are using a 7-string or you're down tuned, it's going to really suit that aggressive modern metal sound. Now, the other thing I want to talk about with this amplifier range is the way that we've designed it to be lightweight. Celestion got involved, and they basically designed a brand new speaker for us called a Zephyr. It's based on the voicing of a vintage 30, so it's generally a speaker that a lot of guitar players adore. And essentially it's a magnet, it's a true magnet ferrite speaker, but the weight has been stripped away slowly over an R&D project of about 2 to 3 years, just to make sure it was retaining all the sounds that we love from a vintage 30 with half of the weight. So these are super lightweight. The cabinet and the wood, the timber that we're using is a candlenut pine, so it's strong, great for acoustic sound, but also lightweight. And really the big difference is with a valve amplifier, you generally have a heavy duty coiled transformer. If you've ever picked up a valve amp and one end is a little heavier than the other, that's where the transformer is. It's one of the heaviest components of a valve amplifier. We've designed an SMPS, a switch mode power supply, that pulls all the voltage needed to run a valve amplifier. All the current is there for you to run a tube amp. So that's the important thing to know. These are super lightweight. You've really got to pick them up to believe it. Even the 212 is so light, it's unbelievable. And that is obviously making life a little easier for us on our backs and also in and out of the van, in and out of the car. If you're still into using valve amplifiers in a live scenario, definitely check out the St. James here at Project Music. One of the other things which is really important is Cabrig. Cabrig is our direct solution. It's cabinet design, mic choice, and you can basically open up your Mac or your PC, edit your sounds, store 3 of them to the amplifier, plug an XLR cable, USB cable, or a jack, and you've got those 3 presets ready to go direct to your door or front of house. I'm going to give you the 3 stock presets that are in the 6L6. So the next sounds that you're going to hear are not going to be using the SM57 here on the cabinet. It's just going to be a direct sound, and these are the presets that it comes with. You'll also see them changing on screen on my laptop. Okay, so that's the St. James 50, 6L6 and EL34. We talked a little bit about the reactive load, Cabrig, that's built in, and you can design your direct solution with great accuracy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been useful. I wanted to do this video as a little bit of a different angle to the general demonstrations which are read from the manual essentially. So this is giving you a bit more of a hands-on design history about the product, giving you those different channels and those different flavors for a different musician and different style of player, but equally having something with Cabrig built into a valve amplifier for the price that St. James is, really is an amazing product. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. See you later.